Welcome to WGS-TV and this very special WWE Braggin Rights Reactions video. Well, we just went through the Braggin Rights pay-per-view here on Blog TV, and of course we had the audio commentary courtesy of Ashley, Nathan, and Andy. And I know a lot of you guys out there were listening to it, and I thank you very much for doing that. Now, let's see, we had Daniel Bryan go over on Dolph Ziggler. He beat him tonight. But I think one match that we did not get right on the podcast tonight. All of us, I think we pretty much all picked Goldust to beat Ted DiBiase at the pay-per-view, and that did not happen. Now, one match that we did not see coming, one match that was not announced that did happen, was a tag team match for the tag team titles. It was McIntyre and Rhodes going against John Cena and David Otunga, and John Cena and David Otunga won the tag team titles. And I believe after the match, John Cena gave David Otunga the Attitude Adjustment. Now, as far as the Kane Undertaker match, you know, again, it's purely a SmackDown gimmick. It's a SmackDown angle. So why in the world was Nexus involved in the match? Why did they interfere? So, and a lot of people were picking Undertaker to get buried on the podcast on blogtalkradio.com. But and it did happen. But what did happen, I believe Ashley told me, was the Undertaker's symbol was like up in the arena, if I'm saying that correctly. And now, as far as Wade Barrett and Randy Orton, I believe I picked Randy Orton. Well, not to win the match. I believe Wade Barrett won the match by disqualification. And Ministry Darkness in the live Blog TV chat room right now said that he was the one who said the Taker was going to get buried. And again, I said that on the podcast. If that really did happen, and it did happen, it would have made more sense to do it at Survivor Series. Instead, they did it tonight at Braggin Rights, and I really don't see the whole point. Now, if he comes back like really soon, like even in fact for Survivor Series, that could like say the Undertaker's using his powers to recuperate a lot faster, and he wants his vengeance. Now, overall, overall, I thought the pay-per-view was okay. Let's just say here, it was a lot better than Hell in a Cell, because, again, everybody knows my gripes about Hell in a Cell and how poorly structured that pay-per-view was. And again, I'll reiterate one more time. One of the prime examples, one of my prime gripes about it, is that it had an exciting match with Wade Barrett and John Cena, and then they followed it with a fucking Divas match, which was horrible. So I'm glad that this pay-per-view was structured a little bit better than Hell in a Cell was, to be very honest with you. And, well, let's go to Ashley. Ashley is here on the Skype line to give everybody who's watching this video right now his thoughts, his take on tonight's pay-per-view. Ashley, what are your thoughts?
Well, very quickly, the Ziggler-Bryan match was a very good match. Not sure if it was match of the night, to be honest. I probably need a day or two to think about that, but I thought it was a very good match with Bryan getting the win. The tag team match, I was, I think, the only one that forecast it coming. I wasn't expecting Cena to be involved in it, though. But an interesting move at the end with Cena taking the belts himself after leaving Otunga Attitude Adjustment Tid in the middle of the ring. Goldust versus Ted. I don't think any of us expected Ted to win, but Goldust still walked out with the title, which was the most important thing, so it continues that story on. The Divas match between Layla and Natalya was good. It was a pretty good match, and then it had to be interference from Michelle McCall in order for the for Layla to retain the title and the Lay-Call gimmick to continue, which is starting to get a bit annoying. Kane Undertaker was a good match until Nexus got involved. WWE Championship match was good until Nexus got involved. Clever how they did it with Cena giving Barrett the attitude adjustment, which meant Wade Barrett won the match, which means Cena couldn't get fired from the company, but Orton still retained the title. Orton clearly wasn't happy with this, so he RKO'd everybody in sight. And in the bragging rights elimination, Edge and Rey Mysterio won in the end, taking out CM Punk, Ezekiel Jackson, and The Miz, as the last three guys from Raw, one by one. It was a pretty good match. It was clever. They did count-outs and eliminations. Sad to see Santino get knocked out first rather than Tyler Rex, but hey, that's what we have to live with, seemingly.
Now that's another thing that I was off on the podcast, and I called it on the podcast, and I really thought it to be a work, for to lead everybody on, have SmackDown dominate Raw on both the shows, on Raw and SmackDown leading up to their pay-per-view, just to pull a swerve and have Team Raw win the Braggin' Rights trophy. That's what I generally felt. That was my thoughts about that, but I guess I was wrong, as it apparently Team SmackDown came away with the Braggin' Rights trophy. Ashley, go ahead and tell everybody the hugely funny thing that happened after the match was over.
Well, another point I'd like to make is the way that Edge and Rey Mysterio acted. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the return of that tag team, which I thought was a great tag team when it was around in 2002. But there was a very funny bit with Nathan. It was Edge and Rey Mysterio celebrating with the trophy, and they gave Blue Squad, or Blue Squad, or whatever we call him. And apparently the trophy was so heavy for him, he caved in and just fell to the floor with the trophy on top of him. Edge lifted the trophy off Hornswoggle so Hornswoggle would get up. But due to some lag issues with commentator, it looked as if Edge was turning heel again and forced it down and squish it. Because for people who don't know Hornswoggle, given the beat he took last Monday Night Raw that we had, I'm sure. And the weird thing was, Hornswoggle was beating other people up, and it was saying, "Oh, you can't do that." And then when Hornswoggle was, being a trophy, it's like, "Oh, sorry for that." That's why they call it problematic, because he doesn't know which script to look at.
All right, let's. I hope you guys were able to make that out, at least. Yeah, but I'm hoping you guys were able to make that out, because Skype again was just going in and out, and...
Rev got dropped. Yes, Skype is failing.
Skype is failing. Rev Jake's not even in the chat room anymore. Well, let's not worry about it. Let's not worry about it too much. So, if you guys out there have watched, Braggin' Rights tonight, and you see this video up, again, on the places that you see this video, again, that's blogtv.com/people/AWBB, youtube.com/WrestleGamer, facebook.com/TheWrestleGamerShow, myspace.com/DoubleBCajun, www.TheWrestleGamerShow.com, and fans.wwe.com/DoubleBCajun. If you watched Braggin' Rights tonight, leave your thoughts about the show in a comment here on this video. And as I'm pretty sure that for this Wednesday on Wrestle Talk, Ashley, you're going to have a more in-depth review of Braggin' Rights. Am I correct?
Yeah, and the pay-per-view review might be brought to you by Gummy Wars.
Now, the last thing we want to talk about here is, again, if you've been following us the past few days, we did announce that we did have a tie for the top 3 video game characters, classic characters. We need those top 3, and then we had a tie. We have Mario and Link in the top 2, but we had a 3-way tie for 3rd place. So at the time of this recording, which is 10:39 p.m. on October 24th, 2010, I am proud to announce the winner and securing the 3rd spot in the top 3 for classic video game characters with 46.15% of the vote. The winner is Samus. So it'll be Mario, Link, and Samus who will go on to take on the winner of the upcoming poll for favorite video game characters of today. And now, the poll will be up tomorrow night before Raw, which means you guys have quite a bit of time left to go to facebook.com/TheWrestleGamerShow and submit your suggestions for the poll of favorite video game characters of today. You have time. Get to it, ladies and gentlemen. Submit your suggestions in. Now, that's pretty much it for tonight for the Bragging Rights Breakdown and Prediction. I'm still thinking podcast. Reason why I'm thinking podcast, let me tell you why, ladies and gentlemen. We had 23 live listeners on the Bragging Rights Breakdown and Prediction show. So think about that, ladies and gentlemen. 25 on Wrestle Talk on Wednesday, 23 on the podcast yesterday for Gamer Talk, and another 23 on Breakdown and Predictions. We're getting out there. We're getting out there, ladies and gentlemen. So, keep watching, keep coming into the podcast, and again, don't forget this Wednesday night on blogtalkradio.com/WGS Radio, my special guest, Luke Hawks. Luke Hawks. And now we reached the end of the video. It is time for shout-outs. And so I'd like to give my shout-out first to Sign Guy, AEW Sign Guy, Shane Bowden. Be sure you check him out. Facebook.com/ well, go ahead and put the link up in the chat room so I can read it real quickly. Shane Bowden, which is ShaneBodin. Be sure you go to his Facebook page and check him out on there. Again, Facebook.com. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Soda does that to me. Anyway, Facebook.com/Shane Bowden. Now, I know some people out there who are watching this video wondering, well, aren't you going to stop the video and start it over? Again, I've said it before, and I say it again. You're going to get me for me. No flashy special effects. And if something happens, something happens. If I mess up, hey, that's on me. I'll just start over again during the video and correct myself. I am not going to waste time and by going back over it again and just doing it all over again. Well, I'll answer that when the video is over, Shane. I'll answer that when the video is over. But that's pretty much going to be it. And I believe I might have just gotten... Somebody might have gotten dropped off Skype because it made the sound effect. It made sound effect. I don't know. Might have been me. Yeah, it sure was me. Anyway. Well... You guys should see Sign Guy in the chat room right now. He's trying to do everything he can to mess me up. Not gonna happen. So that's gonna be it for the reactions video.
Make sure you don't mess up.
So that's gonna conclude the reactions video for Bragging Rights. Be sure you tune in tomorrow for another edition of the video blog of WGS-TV right here on Blog TV and YouTube. So for Ashley, for Shane Bowden, Sign Guy in the chat room, and everybody watching this right now, have a great night, everybody.